Starting to the bottom right of the map, we have the young Terran player for Team Prime.
Maru Prime.
Very young and already very successful.
Maru dropping down from Code S, of course. Here's his opponent, Protoss player for LGIM, one of the players of their sick Protoss lineup.
LGIM Ruin.
His Korean name is Hongduk. He only has 2 names, very uncommon in Korea. There are a few people who have that.
So coming into this first game here at the up and downs for the two players, let's talk a little bit about how Maru ended up here. In his group, he was up against players like Flash, Solkey, and also Boom Boom. That was in the round of 32, and he lost and took 3rd place there. So dropped down to Code 8 immediately. Specifically, he lost against Solkey twice. Was able to take out Boom Boom, but Solkey just was a little bit too much for him to handle. And I mean, I don't really blame him here. Solkey is now in the finals, so that really shows that it's not... Yeah, it's no shame to losing to such a great player. And Maru took 1 map in both of these games, so it was really a little bit unlucky for him to go up against Solkey twice. But then he lost to Byung in the 2nd round of Code A and finds himself now here in the up and downs. Whereas Ruin, on the other hand, he won his Code A qualifier bracket and then defeated Sparta in the 1st round of Code A, giving him the chance to participate here in the up and downs after losing in round 2 versus Squirtle, who then advanced to go to Code S because Tasia, he is now participating in the WCS NA or America, and therefore Tasia forfeited the match against Squirtle. Squirtle got a free win in the 3rd round and then advanced.
Ruin is a player who in this matchup has shown us really unique styles. A lot of Colossus timings. He's also shown us Phoenix Colossus. I heard this one was first coming out, so you know people were wondering if that was going to come back in this matchup because Phoenix have more range now. I don't think we'll see that type of style from him in this game, since people have kind of figured out that that's still not exactly one of the better styles. He's got the ability to do this very simple Mothership Core expand. He had 2 and 2 in the gases, now he's gone to 3 and 3.
You know, for me, Maru, for some reason, doesn't get older. This guy is all, double Reaper here immediately.
Well, that's going to be a lot of pressure and scouting with this.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of pressure. You're completely right about that. Usually you see one Reaper just being sent out there to scout a little bit. I'm wondering how much he's going to commit to this, if we even see more than the 2 of them. Might be some special build that Maru has been preparing here.
Yeah, he might build a bunker to block the Nexus. He could even do an eBay block, just simply that, but a bunker would be cool so that he could, you know, put the Reapers back into the bunker and be really annoying with those. It looks like he's not going to do it. He sends his SV back, and the Stalker chases away, makes sure of that.
Yeah. So the double Reaper trying to do some damage here. We are going to find out how much he can actually do with them. But for Maru, this is now one of the openings where he's trying to just pressure his opponent, get his base up safely behind this. The Mothership Core, of course, seeing the 2 Reapers here, will arrive at the bottom right in time, but the Marines are already being built with the reactor, so there is enough anti-air to deal with this.
Yeah, and keep in mind there's only 1 Stalker home. Without the Mothership Core, he's not going to have that for defense either. He actually can kill this Stalker if he micros his Reapers correctly. The first Stalker, though, will... the 2nd Stalker will come out and save him. Yeah,
nice micro so far by Ruin, but you can really see that the hit points are already being whittled away by Maru's Reapers here. So the Mothership Core realizes that it can't do too much here against the Marines that are already present. And both players now heading into the 2nd base, with Maru even being a little bit faster than his opponent.
Yeah. Reapers here spotted once more. I like the idea of the double Reaper. It is a huge investment in gas, but it means that he can scout no matter what. In just a few seconds when he goes into the main base, he will be able to see the tech. And 1 Widowmine being made just for safety as well for Maru back at home.
And Widowmines always being a huge threat to a Protoss, make Ruin go into robotics early on. And he adds a very fast forge here too. So with the robotics, he can get the observers out there. He wants to have a little bit of a detection in case there is going to be a Widowmine drop. It's one of the things that you're always worried about when you're a Protoss player up against a Terran. And with the fast forge, he can really start getting his upgrades on early on in the game.
A little bit surprised we don't see the Reapers jump into the main base. He knows the Stalker's on the low ground. He knows there can only be, you know, at the most 3 of them in and perhaps just a sentry instead. But decides not to go in there. So he's not going to know whether it's a robotics follow-up here. Which would be great for him to know, is if he knew that he might actually just decide to do a multi-prong attack with his drop. Looks like he may just do it anyways. He just keeps checking like this to see if he can get 1 or 2 probes.
Yep. The probe count, of course, now a little bit higher for Ruin than the SCV count for Maru, thanks to the Chrono boost. There's the really fast armor upgrade. And this is going to be a very interesting build that we see here from Ruin. He's going for the Observer right now to get a glimpse of what exactly Maru is doing in his own base. But with the early upgrades, he will get quite a significant lead if he can defend against the aggression of Maru. As soon as those medivacs are out, of course, in this matchup, we have the aggression starting, and the Observer gets a glimpse. Question being, of course, did he really see that on the minimap?
Yeah, that's the question. He probably expects something like this since he knows the tech is there.
He saw. He moved units into position right away, so he must have seen a glimpse on the map.
Yeah. You know, otherwise he's got some sort of spider sense here with the timings. Raven comes out now back at home. This is the drop that has the Widow Mines. He's not setting them by ground.
Here we go. Boosts in, and he's like, what? Defenses? I don't care, but the Observer is already here. The Widow Mine doesn't get a shot off, and there's only the second Widow Mine! Oh my god!
9 kills.
Oh, he missed that. It was such a great defense against Widow Mine #1.
And
but
at the natural
second
still.
one, he didn't see it. And at the natural, there's another run in. He's taking damage on the Stalker. Just barely in time, uses the Photon Overcharge. Oh wow, Maru doing a lot of damage early on.
Yeah, very late reaction on those Marines at the natural too. And I think that he had a panic mode, activate when he saw that first shot with Widow Mine, and he was not paying attention.
I think he didn't really spot the second Widow Mine. The first one, he took it out immediately. He saw it with the Observer, but he didn't really pull the probes away. Could have done this a lot better, of course, but still, that was very unfortunate for him. Maru now going over Observer hunting with his Raven that he has in the main base.
Yeah, really cool to see that. Just trying to make sure he can deny any more scouting information and perhaps waste some robotics time, because he already saw the robotics warp A with his drop, so he knows the Colossi are coming. If he can delay even one Colossus, that's exactly what he wants.
The early Raven really being interesting here for Maru. I mean, you can do so much with it. It's quite a huge investment that you have to make, but you can hunt down your opponent Observers, making sure that they don't really know what's going on unless they go for the Phoenix Scouts with the hallucinations. And of course, then later on, you can just use those point defense drones against Stalker Fire, for example.
Yeah, you could even, I mean, in a rare case in this matchup, use the Seeker Missile. You know, it might come into play.
+1 armor is done, +1 attack is being researched. We have now upgrades already being researched from Maru, but only from a single engineering bay. Drop attempt into the main base once more, but from every single angle we have Stalkers moving in, trying to hunt down the medivac.
Yeah, nice defense here by Ruin, not letting anything pass. But you can really see that that loss of probes and having the SCV count for Maru with those mules has pushed him ahead in the supply. He's now up 16 supply here. He's powered up, he's getting his combat shields, his stim out, his +1 is coming through as well. So Maru just having a huge advantage on that early Widow Mine drop.
That killed 9 Harvesters in one shot, and this early in the game, that is such a huge difference. You have then to sacrifice a lot more to get your economy up again. All those chrono boosts on the next side that you can't use for your upgrades, that's really going to be an issue here. What Maru has to do, on the other hand, is really start his armory pretty soon. His +1 upgrade is already done. He needs to start the armor upgrade here if he wants to keep up with his opponent.
Yeah, that's one thing that Ruin will have over Maru quite significantly.
There's now +1 armor, but of course what Maru has, as already pointed out, is this third base. And as long as he can defend it, he can do a lot of damage with this. Well, with the resource, of course, later on then piling up and getting the lead in the army supply, not with the expansion.
Yeah, you dropping mules on people doesn't actually hurt anything with their pride.
If you drop it against in a TVT against opponent siege tanks, it might.
I guess that's true. This is not good for Maru at all. He loses his entire force on the left. Yeah, he's going to do some damage here in the main, but I'm not sure it's worth it.
Well, a good job in the main base.
Gets the force, though.
He gets the force. He might actually also decide to just stick around and fight a little bit longer, and he does. He takes down the Twilight Council, and he's fighting this army. There's the point defense drone. He does so much here.
Yeah, point defense drone really helping him out there insanely a lot.
A little bit sloppy not pulling the Raven back earlier, but that was so worth it. I mean, so many upgrades that we don't see now for the Protoss player. Losing the Twilight Council here, of course, being a big deal, and also the Forge.
Yeah, he has neither charge nor blink for his Stalkers, and now he can't get 2-2 even after he finishes his next Forge because he doesn't have the Twilight Council just yet.
It was really well played here by Maru. And overall supply there, really very similar, but Maru has the bigger army now, and he's getting those upgrades. The armory is already on the way, as is the second engineering base that he can head into +2/+2. Still Ruin with a little bit of a lead in the upgrades, but Maru, as long as he holds this attack, is in an amazing position.
Yeah, you know, if he had charge with this army, he could do so much more with this attack, but oh no, Maru again! Poor unit control here, he splits his units incorrectly.
Should have seen this a little bit earlier, but the Vikings have a really good spot against those Colossi. Get off a few shots before the major battle even happens. Supply is still very much the same. A lead in army supply for Maru. He's starting in from the side, taking down those sentries.
Needs to get some good shots of the Colossi, land so far. The targeting is really good.
He takes down Colossus #1 just barely. No Vikings are being attacked here. The Stalker is not doing what they're supposed to. And with all the Colossi gone, there's just nothing that Ruin can do anymore to win this battle. Too many Marauders for the Terran player.
If he had charged, this would have been a completely different story. But he lost that Twilight Council, he lost his Forge, and he is likely to lose this game now as his units are being chased down. He doesn't even have Blink to run. Even a Reaper is out for blood.
Yeah, the Reaper is trying to have a piece of the cake here. Moving in, Ruin dropping in supply. He's still on 2 bases, up against 3, and Maru is in an amazing position.
He just does not have the ability to run away. Even his Zealots are slow. There's no speed on the Zealots. He doesn't have the blink for the Stalkers.
Maru played this entire game very low econ. He was still on 39 harvesters here, and he was relying a lot on the mules, but now he's going into the additional SCV production, and you can see the Doom Job into the main base, just abusing this mobility that Terran has with the afterburners on the medivacs. Ruin, without the blink upgrade, is not fast enough.
Yeah. Blink done way too late. He's just going to run away here. He loses very little, kills the entire Nexus, and there's no third base for Ruin at all. Maru has essentially sealed the deal now with that Nexus snipe.
He's in just an amazing spot. I mean, the guy is up 30 supply. He has a third base. He's up in economy. He's getting those additional upgrades, or will very soon. And for Ruin, everything is literally in runes.
Yeah. He's losing that Twilight Council made it that he couldn't hit his timing. So, I mean, he thought, okay, I see that you have a third command center way faster than me. I'm going to hit a timing here with charge and attack you. And I know that you have very few Vikings, so my 2 Colossi are going to do a lot. And then suddenly, out of the blue, you know, you lose your Twilight Council and your whole timing's messed up. You can't punish that base anymore. I mean, look at how he runs scared here.
Yeah. Moving in once again with a stutter step, taking down the Colossi, the force fields, too late, not good enough. The last Colossus already gone, and now with a 50 supply lead, it's just a matter of time until Maru is going to crush Ruin here.
Yeah, it was just, that was the best fight Ruin could have hoped for, but it's still not enough because his composition is just way too... His army is too small. He only had 1 Colossus, and Maru has 2 armies bigger than his 1. As you can see here, the second army coming around for the flank, and Ruin is going to have to type out here.
There's just no hope for him to come back into this game. He's down to 50 supply now. He has his Nexus in the main base once again, but it's just not enough. He just doesn't have any high-tech units. It's not like he has Storm suddenly that could help him to fend off these attacks. He doesn't have anything, not even a single Colossi in this army. And with 3 bases and this massive economy that Maru has, he can just send wave after wave over to the top left.
I mean, he has killed 34 SCVs in total just with his pressure, but it's not enough. GG.
Well played here. Good job by Maru, and Ruin not able to take down his opponent in the first game. So good start into this up and down group by Maru.
No, just very solid play. And, you know, Ruin, obviously this isn't the end for him. It's just his first game, but he doesn't look like he's taking the loss too hard.
Gerard, a bit more casual today than he is at the GSTL.
Yeah, I like it.
A good job by Maru so far. Having the first win. So Bunny and Maru taking the first wins in their games.
Yep, 2 Terrans, looking strong.
And our next game is going to be a ZVZ. We have DRG up against Lenok.
Yeah, this should be a good one.
Yeah, DRG, of course, already losing game #1. And for him, there's a lot on the line here. It's not only about pride, but he wants to really just start into Heart of the Swarm. And so far, he was not able to do that. In the last game, also, one of the things, I mean, I had a major brain fart there. Of course, like, Maru was not playing the entire game on 39 harvesters. He lost a lot of harvesters in the first engagement and then could rely on the mules. So a little bit of a weird thing to say there. But as you can see, Maru with a very solid play, and Ruin, the drops just took him apart.
Yeah, they took him apart. And that one Widowmine hit was what gave Maru the first momentum. That wasn't the point of no return, but it just gave him too much. And then he was like, okay, now you're going to have to use your Chrono Boost on different things, and I'm just going to keep putting on the aggression. So that opened up the window for the aggression, where he just kept going for it, where he knew Ruin could never pressure his third base. That's what allowed him to take that third command center so quickly.
Exactly,
like
and then we had the Raven, a really good move here. First of all, shutting down all the scouting of his opponent, and then moving into the main base, dropping the point defense drone, which gave him a little bit more time to stick around to take not only down the Forge, but also the Twilight Council. So we didn't have those extra upgrades for the Protoss player. He was was forced to move out after that and tried to attack as he realized that there were already 3 bases for Maru, but he didn't do a lot of damage. Even though Maru lost a few of Marines and Marauders, then we had a very good position for the Vikings, getting shots off against the double Colossi early on before the fight even started. And in the battle that then occurred, Maru already had way more army supply than Ruin, and from there on it was just an uphill battle for the Protoss.
Yeah, a very, very, very uphill battle.
Yeah.
Well, you know, ZVZ coming up next, DRG versus Leenock, and these two players are very well known for their Zerg versus Zerg. We've seen all sorts of special strategies from them, you know, all-ins with the 10 pool and the Baneling. We've seen hatch first out of both of them. We've seen, you know, rushes to Mulus before Heart of the Storm, even in Wings of Liberty, different types of styles.
I just have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed with DRG's play in Heart of the Swarm so far. Not in particular today, but just as a general thing. He seems to transition not all that well into the new add-on.
Yeah,
here.
he's definitely
struggling.
He's definitely considered by most people now to be a mid-tier player instead of a top-tier player in Heart of the Swarm.
Which is a little bit sad, so I would really love to see him bounce back. Against Leenock it's going to be difficult though. Not all is lost for DRG, of course. He only lost his first game, so he can still make sure that he's getting out of this up and down group. But if he wants to do that, then he has to take down Leenock here. Being owned 2 in the group is a very bad spot. It means you have to hope for a tiebreaker. And right now, Leenock, he's still looking strong. DRG, can he do it in a Zerg versus Zerg? It's not going to be easy, but as you said, well, they have a history. Both of them have been played several, like countless times against each other.
Definitely sure, and a lot of times, in fact, on this very map, Daybreak, a 2-player map, we have seen 10 pool Baneling a lot by Leenock in particular on this map, but DRG as well.
Yeah, but both of them actually, they really tried to mind game each other in the last few matches in in Wings of Liberty. So now we're going into the game 3 here, the up and down group A here at the GSL today. Daybreak is the map. We have Dong Ragu up against Leenock in a ZVZ. Brought to you by Colin Wolf, of course.